but who cares? No big deal. I want more scales. Hey guys, it's Jen and welcome to today's video, another episode of Let's Be Friends. And today I'm going to be sharing a childhood story with you about when I thought I was a mermaid. I was a weird kid, yeah. So for a while there, when I was, 6 or 7, I actually thought that I was a mermaid because my mom had told me that I was born by the beach, and I had assumed that she'd actually found me on the beach, taken me home, and raised me as her daughter. I actually did feel like I was adopted for a very long period of time, and still sometimes do, even though I love you, Mom, very much. Today I'm going to be using my Ciate palette and doing kind of like a purpley, shimmery look, something that kind of doesn't have anything to do with mermaids. The reason being is because I don't really have a lot of blues in my collection. I don't really wear a lot of blue, don't wear a lot of green, so I'm going with what I got, and we're gonna see what happens as I share this story with you guys. All right, I was little. When I was learning how to swim, it was actually a pretty traumatic time. I almost drowned. It was terrible. But once I did learn how to swim, I actually became an excellent swimmer, and I loved to swim, and it was very hard to get me out of the water. Whether it was the pool or the ocean, whatever the case may be, it was just difficult to get me out of the water. I just wanted to swim and swim and swim forever, and now I hardly swim at all, ever, which is weird, but it's just the way it is. My mom had told me, we had some conversation. I just asked her, at some point, I was like 6 or 7, something like that. And I had said, where was I born? And she said that I was born by the beach. Well, I was already obsessed with, mermaids and fairy tales and fairy godmothers and princesses, all that stuff. That was me. I like that kind of thing. The whole ethereal princess kind of deal there. So I had somehow gotten it in my head that my mom had found me on the beach. I envisioned on many occasions that my mom had been strolling along the beach and had come across little baby me basking in the sun near the crashing waves, just kind of hanging out, and that she'd seen little baby mermaid me scoop me up, brought me home, and raised me to be her daughter. I thought that for God, I don't know, what was it like, at least maybe a year or 2 years, I think. I was really into the mermaid thing for a long time. So every time we would go to the beach, I would stand at the shoreline where the waves were crashing, and I would start writing messages in the sand. I'm here. Come get me. Where are you? Basically, I would start writing messages in the wet sand, and as the waves washed those messages away, I, in my mind, thought that it was carrying my message to my mermaid family that was waiting for me and had been looking for me in the ocean. I would spend lots of time just hanging out when we were at the beach, just kind of staring out at the ocean, looking to see if maybe my family was showing up to come and get me, because this horrible woman had come along and ripped me away from them, and and I was meant to live in the ocean. I was meant to be a mermaid, and I thought that for quite some time. And I can remember on several occasions we'd be driving home from our day at the beach, and I would be staring longingly out the window, hoping that I would see, my family spring up out of the water and, maybe wave to me or something. Yeah, I just thought that's where I belonged. I belonged in the ocean, and I was a mermaid, and that's where I was supposed to live, and pretty much became obsessed with the whole mermaid thing, and must have watched Splash. God, I don't know how many, I've lost count how many times I watched Splash over and over and over again. And when The Little Mermaid came out, oh, that's one of my absolute favorite Disney movies, is The Little Mermaid. Because it really speaks to that time in my life when I had that really out there imagination. Not that I don't still have that out there imagination. I still do, but it's not as It's just not as it was when I was a little kid. So I did. I watched it over and over again. Absolutely loved it. Still love it. Still one of my favorites. And still, you know, think the mermaid thing is cute, but my mom, I love my mom. I love you, Mom. You know, absolutely love my mom. Still to this day buys me mermaid things. You know, she just feels like I need to have mermaid stuff. I don't know why. I have mermaid coffee cups. I have a mermaid coffee cup. I've got a mermaid trucker hat. I've got a lot of mermaid things. She even got me a mermaid, kind of like a Snuggie deal that has the full-on mermaid tail with it and all that jazz. And 47. Why do I have a mermaid Snuggie? I don't know. But I have one, and it's around here somewhere. And my mom is the kind of person is that once she finds out that you like something, you're going to get that something pretty much all the time. So she will absolutely still to this day go out and purchase any mermaid items that she could find and give them to me for, you know, holidays, birthdays, you know, that sort of thing. It's all mermaid all the time. And I think that it will remain that way forever. My sister, she likes frogs. She still likes frogs, but she likes other things. Our mom will just buy her all things frog. It's just how she rolls, just what she does. That was just something as, you know, when I was a kid, I really did think that I actually belonged in the ocean, that I was adopted or abducted, however you want to call it. I didn't think that I belonged where I was. It took me a minute to get over that. I was like, okay, I'm not really a mermaid. And continued to swim and swim and swim until I saw the movie Jaws. And then I was absolutely 100% certain that I was going to be attacked by a great white shark while I was in the pool. So after I saw that, it was a lot easier to get me out of the water because, you know, then I became terrified of Jaws because I just had that kind of imagination. It was going to be chewed up by a big old shark in a swimming pool. Anybody else get that feeling when you watch Jaws? Did you feel a little worried that maybe Jaws was going to show up and get you while you were in the pool, or is it just me? Am I the only one? Am I alone in that one? Let's see, let's go into Bon Bon in this, because I'm going to use this really bright purple here. A bright shimmery purple for my eyelid, and we'll see how this works out, because that one's too light. That is so much better. Okay, much more so what I'm going for. I had that very active imagination, you know, and of all things that were fantasy and make-believe and just that whole kind of fantasy world. And I found myself trying to find it throughout my childhood, trying to find magic, basically. You know, the whole ethereal princess, fairy godmother, Tinkerbell, sprout wings and fly kind of deal. It was basically something that I really thought existed and really thought that I was supposed to be a part of that world. I did. For a long time, I really thought I was supposed to be a mermaid. Something, I don't know. I thought that there was just something real to those stories, that those cartoons or stories that I read when I was little, that there was some reality to it and that I was a part of it. I just felt like that's where I really belong. And a lot of my childhood thinking that I was in the wrong place with the wrong family, just kind of, you know, just kind of how I felt. It's like that I just belonged somewhere else, that I was meant to be something else, living somewhere else with a different family and a whole different kind of life, that the real world was just a little too freaking boring for me. So I don't know, I wanted something that was more on the fantasy side of things. Okay, so this is bothering my eye. That's probably gonna be a problem. And I don't know how to deal with that because my eye just keeps on leaking. So basically what I want to do is just a Little Mermaid look. I still have to fix that part of my eye, but if I keep messing with it right now, it's just gonna keep leaking and it's gonna be an absolute disaster. So instead of doing that, I'm just gonna let it take a break. I'm gonna move on to my little Krylon paint set. We're gonna paint some scales on her face because I have nowhere to go. Okay, so now I'm just kind of defining my little scale look, and then I'm going to finish up my eye look, and we're gonna hop back on here and we are gonna wrap this up. I'll be right back. What do you think, huh? Things that happen when I have too much time on my hands. It's freaking amazing, isn't it? I'm feeling very oceanic. Even though I'm not using blues and greens, which I think would make more sense for this look, but I still feel like it worked out. I still feel like it's okay. So guys, that is the end of my short story of how I thought I was a mermaid, and this is the finished look, and this is the end of the video. I just want to thank you guys for sticking around and watching. I truly appreciate it, and I would love to know what it was you thought you wanted to be when you were little, and what you dreamt of when you were little. Please let me know in the comments. That would be really great. Feel free to give this video a thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe. It would be great to have you here. I upload as often as I can, and I always look forward to spending time with you guys. Just want to thank you so much for sticking around and watching, and I hope y'all are having a beautiful day. Thanks. Bye.